Godzilla, the king of the monsters, menace to society and the owner of humanity? Yeah, you heard me right. This overgrown lizard is a complete menace to the Titans, and humanity would have gone extinct about 1,000,000 times without him.
Oh hell no, what the fuck are they doing? And who the fuck is this?
Known to the humans as the Shinamura, this dragon with a birth defect has been bitching them around virtually unopposed. However, once Godzilla pulls up on him, he wants no smoke. Godzilla is eventually able to track down the little sorry-ass dragon and takes a big bite out of him. Shinamura tries to fight back, but Godzilla uses his atomic stank breath and packs him up. You would think that everything would be chill now, right? Godzilla cleaned up the trash and the block is safe again. But no, these scary-ass military members decide to order an atomic bomb strike on Godzilla. Some of you probably think this would severely damage or even kill the King of Monsters, but Godzilla is just built different. He shrugs the explosion off and dives back into the depths. Obsessed with him, the Americans and Russians then spend the next 20 years on Godzilla's meat, hitting him with constant nuclear attacks. However, all this does to him is just reaffirm in his head that humans are too weak to even be a threat to him. With a few decades of time passing, the humans are finally able to create the Oxygen Destroyer, a new super weapon. Using this weapon, they are able to inflict meaningful damage on Godzilla. However, they still find themselves having to hop on his knee and beg for help because of another Titan named King Ghidorah. With no Godzilla, King Ghidorah is virtually unopposed and can easily just Thanos snap the human race out of existence. While a lot of humans act scary as hell and start shaking in their boots when they see Godzilla, this isn't always the response he gets. Back in the ancient world, he had a whole cult that worshipped a member of his species as a god. They give his ancestor Dagon some anime-ass names, calling him the Stirrer of the Abyss and the Lord of Lightning. Many of the modern scientists are also afflicted with the disease called meat riding, and can't help but start glazing when they see his abilities and strength.
Top of a primordial ecosystem. A god, for all intents and purposes.
A monster.
So you'd want to make Godzilla our pet?
No. We would be his.
Yes, you heard that right. Let me rewind it back again so you can take this in.
No. We would be his.
This man is gobbling Godzilla's cock so hard that he calls Godzilla his owner. And I mean, he's not wrong, but not even Batman could get that shit out of me. As for the general public, if I'm gonna be honest, they're kind of stupid sheep and change their opinion based on whatever is currently going on. One minute Godzilla is their savior, and the next he's a monster. It is true that Godzilla isn't afraid to murk humans on occasion when they start tripping or accidentally while in the heat of battle. But if they want to judge, they should try to beat a big-ass ape in the middle of a city while causing no collateral damage. Yeah, I didn't think so. For the most part, Godzilla is a positive presence for humanity and essentially hard carries their existence. Now let's get into some more boxing. After a long time without any fights, Godzilla is a little rusty, but he still ain't scared of no one. So when he senses the presence of some disgusting ass parasites called MUTOs, he tracks one to Hawaii and starts banging with them. The MUTO almost immediately starts dodging the fight, realizing it has no chance, and flees towards its mate. Godzilla follows the scared little bug into San Francisco, but again it can't take the heat one-on-one and calls for backup like a bitch. Double teaming Godzilla, the MUTOs are beating his ass, and it honestly looks like he's about to take a fat fucking L. However, coming in like Chris Paul, the humans finally decide to be useful and assist Godzilla by blowing up the MUTO's nest. This gives Godzilla a slight breather, which is all he needs to lock in, immediately tail wagging the male MUTO into the afterlife. Extremely injured from accumulated damage, Godzilla has no choice but to activate his Hall of Fame Menace to Society badge in order to defeat the female. Yes, he really just did her like that. In these streets, there's no respect for those who resort to jumping. A few years go by and Godzilla is just chilling in his crib when he suddenly senses the awakening of a massive alpha named Ghidorah. Ghidorah is the most Mickey Mouse Titan in the whole series, as he's an alien with overpowered regeneration and 3 whole independent heads. This Mickey Mouse activity makes Godzilla view him as an imposter, a false king that needs to be packed up immediately. Godzilla pulls up to Ghidorah's place in Antarctica to force him into submission, but instead they get into a scuffle. Godzilla grabs one of Ghidorah's heads WWE, slamming him into the ground, and then tries to fire a blast of atomic breath at him. But Ghidorah jukes the attack and fires back, turning Godzilla into some fried crocodile. Godzilla picks himself up and wants to keep boxing, but the slimy King Ghidorah runs away like a little bitch. Following the Alpha Snake into the open ocean, Godzilla rocks this shit, dragging his ass around and ripping off one of his heads. Unfortunately for Godzilla, human interference fucks shit up, and Ghidorah comes out on top with the rigged win. With Godzilla currently out of commission, Ghidorah tries to be slick and calls up all the other Titans. Unfortunately for Godzilla, the other Titans have absolutely no backbone, and none of them question what Ghidorah says. Furious at the stolen clout, and also to save the world I guess, Godzilla pulls up on Ghidorah. They charge at each other, causing a massive shockwave as they collide. They start boxing, trading blows, until Ghidorah is able to pile drive Godzilla into the ground. Godzilla gets his lick back with his atomic breath, but Mickey Medora negates all this by powering up and knocking Godzilla out. Laying on the ground, Ghidorah picks Godzilla up and takes him miles into the sky. As he's dropped, Godzilla sees his whole life flash before his eyes and knows this is the end. On the ground crippled, there's no chance for him to win the fight. The ref starts counting down, and right before he gets to 10, Godzilla's girlfriend Mothra sacrifices herself to grant him a new form. Whoever said hoes can't be loyal was wrong. Now in his Super Saiyan mode known as Burning Godzilla, he releases a massive EMP disintegrating Ghidorah into dust. We smoking on that false king pack tonight. After all these close calls, you think that Godzilla might consider retirement or at least take a break, but he's not built like you. For him, the grind never stops. Like a true alpha, Godzilla would defend his territory no matter what. So when he senses a massive monkey moving across the ocean with some human goons, he pulls up to confront him. The fight between Godzilla and Kong is pretty even until Godzilla uses that big brain of his and forces Kong to go into the water by using his atomic breath. Now in his natural habitat, Godzilla absolutely destroys Kong, and if the humans didn't interfere by deploying depth charges, we would be talking about a giant monkey skeleton right next to the Titanic. When the battle is over, Kong is down on the ground, dazed, and the human goons are decimated. Thinking he made his message extremely clear, when Godzilla senses him in an old temple that was used by his ancestors, he goes full berserk mode. Using his atomic breath, Godzilla burrows through the entire fucking earth to reach Kong. This heats Kong the fuck up, so he yoinks an axe from the temple and pulls up on Godzilla to beat his ass with it. Godzilla is able to snatch the axe and throw it away, allowing him to follow up with some atomic breath that sears Kong's flesh. Kong gets his stick back and climbs from building to building like a monkey so he can get up in Godzilla's face to exchange blows. At this point, they're on some Roger vs. Whitebeard timing, and the clash seems to have gone in Kong's favor. Climbing on Godzilla's back, Kong gives him a brutal beatdown. Godzilla counters by biting Kong and does a quick reversal, scratching him up and putting his foot on his chest. Godzilla screams right in that boy's face, telling him, "I'm your father." Unfortunately for Godzilla, he's having all this attitude on the wrong block, because an old op has been waiting to pull up. Ghidorah appears again, except this time in the body of Mechagodzilla. He decides to be Mickey for old time's sake and starts fucking up an already injured Godzilla. He even steals Godzilla's signature move and neutralizes the atomic breath with his own, which I know had Godzilla heated. Sleepy Monkey Kong finally wakes up, which allows them to start comboing Mechagodzilla together. Even with the two of them combined, it looks like they still might be doomed, but Kong is able to get his stick back and use his ultimate attack with Godzilla's help. That boy Kong then desecrates Mechagodzilla's body, turning him into scrap metal. Through their teamwork, Godzilla and Kong were able to develop some sort of mutual respect for each other and go their separate ways without fighting. This is currently all the info we have on Godzilla and how he carries the entire human race. So we'll have to wait for the next movie, Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, to see more. If you enjoyed seeing Godzilla be an absolute menace to society, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.